How do you hype up the new season of Stranger Things in Latin America? I know, not a question you probably ask yourself, ever. But that's kind of what we had to do. And we thought, well, easy. You hit them with the nostalgia. So in 1987, Goodies, little candy you may or may have never heard of, made a super big commercial in Colombia. Like, if you were living in Colombia in 1987, you knew this commercial. Bolitas de colores, dulces sus sabores, cuando como la amarilla sale sol. So back when Stranger Things Season 2 was about to premiere, Netflix and NoBox reached out to us and they said, how can we recreate that song and tell the story of what happened in Season 1 of Stranger Things? So that's what we did. So to do that, naturally, we didn't have access to the original master. This is 1987. There's no way they could ever foresee the fact that Stranger Things would come out and that we would have this idea to recreate it and change the lyrics around. So we had to recreate the song from scratch. So we re-recorded the guitars, we re-recorded the instruments. And here's the thing, back in 1987, they had different forms of recording, different instruments. And so while we could have made it sound super high fidelity and super nice and cool and stuff, we figured, no, we got to make this lo-fi. We got to make this old school. When we recorded it, it still sounded very clear and digital. So that's when we brought in our friend, the Wolf compressor. And this allows us to kind of just go into that lo-fi world, over-compress it, make it nice and crunchy. And that already was a huge change. We put that on the master, and it was already starting to sound way more kind of like old school or a little retro. Because back then they recorded everything on tape. You know, we're recording this on a MacBook Pro, so very different times. And it was almost quite there once we added this. Then after that, all we did was turn up the little lo-fi sort of like filter here. And then we have this little wow filter. Now wow is kind of like a tape, like flutter, warble sort of effect. And that's what gave it that sensation of it kind of being on a tape, like an old dated sort of tape. So once we had recreated the song, we just, re-recorded the song with new lyrics and cute little kid singing. And then you just kind of throw a little bit of animation behind it, recreate the animation, tell the story of Stranger Things, and there, you did it. It's that simple. It's like draw the rest of the owl.